Hello, hello, and welcome to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so you never run out of content ideas again. I'm Penny, and I'll be your guide through this creative content development process, teaching you how to stop feeling lost about what you want to post and how to start taking action so you can start reaching more customers online. If you want to learn more about creativity and how this is going to help you develop your content marketing plans, I'd love to see you hit that button and subscribe to this channel. Okay, so today in this video, I want to share with you something called emotional content. This is that space where you're going to be creating more compelling content to get the people who just see your messages to actually take action and click over to your site and not just reach your website, but stay longer and hopefully convert into your sales funnel. So let's get started on this today. When it comes to emotional content, there's a couple of pieces for this. So let's start with this one piece. If you are looking to make your content into something that's going to convert more visitors into your funnel and you just don't know where to start, my first piece of advice for you is it's less about developing a sales funnel template and more about one word: connection. Emotional content is about creating connections. And I'm going to be bringing this whole neuroscience stuff, things what's going on in your brain, into this video. So that's the second part of this. So we've got the connections and we've got the neuroscience part of this. And I'm going to put both of these together and I'm going to show you why emotional content is one of the best things that you can do to create remarkable content for your business. Because when we are attempting to evoke like emotional responses from our content, this is what we're talking about when we're dealing with a basic marketing tactics. Because emotions, let me start that sentence over again because this is really super important. A basic marketing and tactics that decisions are made at an emotional level. And let me share something here with you, a little science here. In the early 1990s, neuroscientist Antonio Damasio, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, studied patients with brain lesions. And these people were unable to feel emotions. And what he found was these patients, not only because of what was going, where the brain lesions were located in their brain, they were not able to feel emotions, but they were also not able to make decisions. So when they started to use logic, his patients could describe situations just in logical terms, but they were unable to get any emotions involved, and they were certainly not able to make any kind of final decisions. They would just talk about these things from a logic perspective. This is this, and this is this, and then this is this, but they couldn't make any decisions. Because according to Damasio, emotions and the feelings are not a luxury. They are a means of communicating our states of mind to others, but they're also a way of guiding our own judgments and decisions. So it's really important to think about this. So the neuroscience of our brain, and it's most likely going to be in that prefrontal cortex area, which is that part that handles planning, decision making, all of that stuff. There's also emotions that are connected within that area of our brain. And within that becomes the idea of making these connections and creating what I'm referring to. Well, I'm not referring to because it's a thing. What I'm talking about today is emotional content. Emotional content is something that we want to influence, convince, and convert. These are the goals of this type of content marketing, and it's 100% dependent upon eliciting some type of emotion from the people that are reading your post, from the people that are on your email list, from the people that organically find you in one of their searches. And it's not just any emotions in the spectrum of emotional feelings, but to appeal to their pursuit of happiness. And I want to talk about this a little bit more too. I want to dig into this. Of course, a lot of times that you're going to see ads, and it's a big thing in the marketing industry, to get people to move to take action. They'll use, a sense of fear or anxiety. Fear and anxiety help their brands create this atmosphere of change. You know what I'm saying? Promising that they're going to do, if they continue the way they are, they're doomed to fail or some other negative outcome. And they create anxiety for their audiences. Set it up with some sort of storyteller tool that says, you're going to warn the pitfalls and dangers by not acting a certain way. And there's, the fear of missing out, and there's all of these things. So that's an emotion. I'm not taking away from the importance of that emotion, because those emotions are very important. But I'm going to tell you that out of all the emotions that we want to go for, especially with regards to emotional content, we want to look towards the pursuit of happiness. And of course, happiness varies, depending upon the person, depending upon the situation, depending upon your business and your services or your products. So I want you to keep that in mind. But we want to find ourselves looking more on the happiness when it's focused on the future, and more calming options versus the anxiety and the fear of missing out, the FOMO stuff. Calming actions when they're focused on that present moment. So according to all these neuroscientists, if we want the people in our community to make decisions, to want to click that buy here button, want to click over to our website, want to get into our email list, they need to feel some sort of excitement towards our business. Because somewhere in this content ecosystem, it's a good word I can use, we need to bring them from fear and anxiety to a feeling of excitement over the prospect of actually solving their problems, dealing with their pain points, and relieving their anxieties. So if we follow the findings of the neuroscientists and content marketers, quite honestly, we need to find a way that we can entice these folks with content that makes them feel excited and happy, right? So you get that. You get that so far. So now I know what your question is. So you are more likely to figure out a way to do some sort of FOMO post. If you don't act now, you can miss out on this. If you don't change this, your business is going to fail, or whatever, fill in the blank words that you want to use. And I get all that. So how can we utilize emotional content to make somebody feel more excited and happy, especially towards our business? We can create content experiences that are going to lead them to the next step of engagement. Now, I know you've heard this before, but it always bears repeating again. We technically have about 8 seconds to grab their attention. We all have like short attention spans right now, and social media is 100% to blame for this. If a website doesn't load in a few seconds, if we don't see what we want to see, if the video doesn't come on as quick as we want to, we flip away. So we basically have about 8 seconds to grab somebody's attention. And so within that time frame, your goal is to find the right people to click on your content. And now, if it's not just the right people to click on your content, but you're able to make an emotional connection with them, they're going to follow their emotions and feelings, and they'll continue their engagement with you, your social media platform, your website, your email content, and stay with your content through to the next steps. That was a really, really important piece. And it's so important, I want to repeat that again. Because here's the thing. Like we said, we have 8 seconds to grab their attention. If you can get the right people to click on your content, you've won the battle. But now, if you can make an emotional connection with them and they follow their emotions and feelings and continue their engagement with you and stay with you through the next steps, it's a bigger step into the war that you've won. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to focus a little bit more on that today. So I want you to think about these types of content when you start developing your version of emotional content. Now, I'm going to just kind of talk in broad, general terms. So take what you can out of this conversation. so that you can start creating your own version of emotional content. So here's a couple of ideas and suggestions, recommendations, whatever word you want to use, but you know what I'm trying to say. When it comes to emotional content, one of the best tools that you can have is storytelling. Storytelling is simple, but it's effective for grabbing people's attention and getting them emotionally invested in your content. And a lot of that has to do with the storytelling when it comes to that place where they can see themselves in this. They can see themselves, and the story doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that they can, that they've experienced themselves, that they've gone through themselves, but for them to envision what it feels like. I believe the word is empathic. When we're able to understand how somebody else is feeling, we may not have experienced the loss, or we may not have experienced the happiness on that sense from both of those spectrums, but we can put ourselves in that place. And when we put ourselves in that place, that's when the storytelling becomes effective, because it gets them emotionally invested in the content. And not only are they emotionally invested in the content because it's meaningful to them, it's intentional and meaningful to them, but they want to know what happens next, especially if they're in a place where they can identify with the story's hero. Maybe their selves may not be the hero. Maybe it's their child. Maybe it's their parent. Maybe it's their husband, their wife, their partner, or whoever. But telling your stories about your business increases your likability factor. And it allows them to, as I keep saying, just become more invested in your content. So when it comes to the idea of being happy, I know a lot of us end up with the storytelling, turning it into a FOMO type of thing. And then this person did this, and this person did this, and it was so terrible. And she had no money, and she was digging out change in her couch seat so that she could pay for gas that week to take her down to the food bank so she could get food for her kids. I mean, all of these things. And then 3 months later, she's making 6 figures. Don't you want to know how to do that? There's tons and tons of stories out there. I'm not even going to point fingers at people who do this, because that's wrong. But I would recommend for you that if you are looking to do more emotional content, to stay away from those type of stories. Why don't you teach me a lesson? If something has happened, and then this happened and this happened, and it allows me to give you a life lesson, but it also allows me to bring my business in to see how what my business has done to help be a solution to this, so that somebody is so amazingly happy that that they bought this product, or they signed up for this service, or whatever it is. So when we think about storytelling, try to come at it more from the place of happiness versus fear and anxiety. Okay. Another type of content that I want to bring up is about creating a feeling of belonging. People love feeling accepted, like important, like that we can be seen, we can be heard. And that feeling of belonging is another way that you're going to tap into the emotions of the people that are following you on social media, the people that are on your email list. Content that makes people feel like they're a part of a group or a cause is very, very effective. And one way that you can have them feeling is to present your business, is like a club or a lifestyle, versus it's just my business. And I think that's one of the reasons why membership groups do so well, because we want to feel like we're a part of something. We want to go into the groups. We want to have the discussions. We want to talk to other people who are dealing with things that they're dealing with in their business, who are looking for answers, who are looking for support, who are looking for help. So if there's a way that you can create some emotional content around the idea of feeling of belonging, looking at your business, like I said, more of a club or a lifestyle, versus, hey, I'm just a business. Don't you want to be a part of this? Don't you want to be part of this movement? I could use an example of my own business, the Create Your Business. It's a subscription program but it's a content development program, and it's something that not a lot of people are doing out there. It's something completely different. And so when you actually join up, it's a membership program. So you belong to this membership. You belong to the part of it. You get, all of this information. You get the opportunity to work one-on-one with me. You get all kinds of amazing things that show up at your door every single month with the box that comes. So it becomes part of a lifestyle, because what I'm doing with the Create Your Business program is I am teaching you how to tap into your creativity by actually giving you the ideas to be creative every single month. So that's one of the things that I do when I create my emotional version of content with regards to this feeling of belonging. Another way that I think is a really good idea for emotional content is this. It's the promise to help your community achieve their goals. Goal setting and personal achievement are highly, I didn't mean to hit that, are highly emotional topics. For most people, their desires and fears and feelings of self-worth are just, part of their goals. There's part of the things that they think about. But if you can figure out a way and figure out what it is that your audience wants most, what your community is looking for, you can have a direct route to their emotions. And let me say it like this. It's not just about reaching their goals and having a productivity planner that you can get more done in less time. What is it that they want? Is it that they want to get more done in less time because they want to spend more time with their family? Do they want this particular program to work for them because they want to make more money so that they can buy a bigger house? There is because they can. That's that piece right there. So it's not just the goal itself. I want to make more money. That's a goal. That's a great goal. But why do you want to make more money? I want to do more in less time. Great. That's a great goal. But why do you want to do this? So that's what I'm talking about here. If you can figure out what it is that they want the most, you've got a direct route to their emotions. And that's where your content will come from. Come from that place of not just saying, hey, sign up for my program because you're going to make more money, but sign up for my program because I know you've been waiting so long to get that house. I know that you've been waiting so long to have your business set up the way that you want so that you can spend more time with your family. So remember that piece right there when you're talking about your emotional content, because when you offer them the help that they want, they begin to see you as an ally. They see you as, she's on my side. She's here to help me. And that's when that trust factor comes in, that no trust factor comes in. And most likely, once they reach that place, you have a greater chance of converting them into making a purchase. I mean, it's taking it to that next place where it's more than just a goal. It's more than just an achievement. It becomes the way that they are emotionally connected to whatever it is that they want. So think about who your audience is, think about who your target ideal client is, and what is it that they want the most. And so that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying help you achieve their goals, not just the data, just not the numbers, not just the money. It has to be more than that. And we all know that because we're human beings. It's always more than that. And a side note to this, if you are looking to just increase your overall engagement with your content, keep in mind that happiness is contagious. I mean, think about that. When we feel happy, we want to share this with others, and then they can feel happy too. So when you are creating your content and you're making this in a happy situation, that makes it to that place where people are like, I love sharing this. I want to share this with everybody because this made me laugh. This made me feel good. This video made make my heart feel warm. All of those types of words and, answers and things that we get from people. That's what I'm talking about. The overall engagement with your content has a lot to do with the happiness because, like I said, happiness is contagious. And when you're able to create, relevant content in response to the topics that your community is already interested, when you're that's the piece right there. That is one of those wonderful engagement increase pieces of your content that you're going to see happen. Because when you make them happy with your content, they are more likely to share it and spread the good feelings of your business with their family, their friends, their peers, and everybody else. And let me say this. If neuroscience has taught us anything, it's that emotions are a part of that decision-making process. Whether you want them to laugh, feel relief, or even feel anxiety for a moment before you offer your relief, creating emotional content that appeals to their emotions is more likely to generate the conversions that you are looking for. And you can make them happy when you're going to be able to find a way to incorporate this when you are accurately discovering their challenges, their pain points, their unmet goals. And then you can craft that story. You can tell about that sense of belonging. You can allow them to feel like they're a part of something. And that's when you say that this is the problem and your product or service is the solution, and they feel like they're a part of it and they feel happy about it, and the storytelling is really, confronting their pain points and challenges, and it's showing them that this is the path, this is the way to go. They learn to grow to trust you. And ultimately, the goal is they'll choose your business as the solution, and not just because it's the logical choice, but because they feel like you've helped them and it's the right thing for them to do. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about developing remarkable content, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel. You are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.